Do you ever put your children in front of the television thinking that the TV can do some babysitting while you catch up on household chores or prepare dinner or maybe even just have a coffee and some peace? And you think, there's broadcasting standards and my kids will be safe. And of course, this is especially relevant during school holiday time. Well, if you think that mainstream free-to-air TV is a good and safe babysitter, think again. So I don't know if you remember back in 2018 when nude dating reality show Naked Attraction caused a stir. It was a program saturated with full frontal nudity and adult sexually charged discussions throughout the episodes. Full frontal nudity has always been off limits on television, but it now seems that anything goes, and it's a race to the most offensive and shocking content possible. And we launched the Boycott Naked Attraction campaign, and businesses were lining up to remove their advertising slots, so much so that TVNZ, the state broadcaster, had to move the program to a later time. But we quickly realised it was a losing battle because the media watchdog, the Broadcasting Standards Authority, has become desensitised to what are community standards, and by their own admission, they've effectively retired themselves from their role. The BSA, in their decision on this program, admitted that the program went a step further than where broadcasters have trodden before, and that each program was visually explicit to a level not, in our experience, seen on New Zealand free-to-air television before. Verbal discussions and descriptions were also explicit. And then they admitted that some viewers may have found the more detailed descriptions of sexual preferences and activity by the participants unduly confronting. But it's still on air. The broadcasters have won and families have received notice. And Naked Attraction degrades human relationships to its basically animalistic instinct. It promotes voyeurism and a porn culture which is harming our society. And it's shocking that the state broadcaster is trying to outdo sites like Pornhub and porn magazines. Now, interestingly, 2 years before, TVNZ had previously pulled a show in which couples have sex in a box in front of a live studio audience. UK show Sex Box was due to begin screening here in the middle of 2016, and the show features couples having sex inside a sealed box in front of a live studio audience and then having their relationships and techniques discussed by experts. TV2 announced the show would be screening here, but then the show was pulled from schedules because it wasn't the right fit. The statement from TVNZ said feedback from viewers forced the network to take a second look at the show. And then in 2019, it was Love Island, featuring 12 contestants, typically clad in little more than their swimming costumes, constantly coupling and recoupling. It's a program with explicit sexual content and also explicit language. And there were concerns body image and the messages it sends to young people, and especially young girls, was a problem because 2 UK contestants committed suicide after appearing on Love Island. Now, here's the key thing. In the UK, Love Island aired at 9 p.m, the hour that marks the watershed after which adult content can be shown. In New Zealand, the watershed is 8:30. Well, it's supposed to be a watershed. We know it's not. But what time was Love Island aired in New Zealand? 5 o'clock. Yep, 5 p.m, when many children may be watching. But that's all okay, according to our media watchdogs. And now the next iteration of this type of racy format is on the horizon. According to a report in the New Zealand Herald, Naked Education is now screening on Channel 4 in the UK and has caused controversy, with critics saying it is inappropriate. Its producers say it celebrates efforts to normalise all body types and champion everybody's differences. And the show features teenagers aged 14 to 16 having frank discussions about sex and body image, and includes a segment where they are presented with naked adults and are invited to have an open conversation about their bodies. One recent episode featured 4 men bearing all to help dispel myths about penis size.
As teenagers, you're always thinking, I'm so fat.
There have definitely been times I've looked in the mirror and hated what I see.
This is a baby step to becoming more accepting of who you are.
Being naked is not a bad thing at all.
0, please.
In you guys!
I think it's time that we see what real male bodies look like.
Whoa, naked men.
Do you know what? Your happiness shouldn't be reliant on whether you have this perfect shape.
A groundbreaking new series, Naked Education, starts Tuesday at 8.
Yeah, I mean, as anybody with half a brain can figure out, you can normalise body types and discuss different body types without pornographic material. And this program isn't really about normalising body types. No, it's pushing a sexual agenda of polluting the minds of children, removing their moral innocence and sexualising them. There's another word for that. It's called grooming. Now, some critics have labelled the show gutter TV. That's an understatement. They have argued that the nudity is unnecessary and tacky and have questioned whether it was actually illegal. Here's some commentary from the UK, and the woman commenting in this clip is a spokesperson for a Catholic newspaper.
This debate's sure to wake you up. Channel 4's latest reality show, Naked Education, has sparked widespread backlash for featuring a group of adults stripping fully naked in front of 14 to 16-year-olds in a classroom.
Yes, the show aims to normalise all body types and break down stereotypes, but some say that it's gone too far. So, do they have a point? Is it important to normalise nudity in the classroom? Okay, Caroline, let's take this over to you then. Should we be showing children real bodies? Because if we don't show them it this way, they'll learn about it via porn.
I think it's confecting a problem where no problem exists. In that, yes, I agree, body positivity is a very good thing, but this can be taught in completely different ways to exposing children to adults stripping off naked. This is about breaking down natural boundaries. Us as adults, you know, we don't choose to be confronted by naked people. And it's about saying, oh, here you are, here you are, kids, completely normal, get your kit off in front of everybody, and breaking down those natural barriers. And concerningly, when you look at the performers who are involved in this show, they all have, semi-pornographic backgrounds. One is a sex toy reviewer, another, if you look her up on YouTube, sings explicit songs. You've even got in this series somebody who was born female who now identifies as a man, stripping naked. Now, this person has had a double mastectomy and has had a procedure, a phalloplasty, to construct, an artificial penis for them. Now, this again is normalizing gender ideology, gender theory, the idea that it's, that somebody can change their body and normalizing actually what is pretty shocking and graphic surgery. There is no...
Yeah, it's pretty clear what this program is all about. It's pushing an agenda. Interestingly, the Broadcasting Standards Authority didn't consider that naked attraction, the one that we had here in New Zealand, is pornography, despite full frontal nudity. And they said that while genital nudity is depicted, it is not with the intention to arouse the audience. Well, that's a little like suggesting that men only bought Playboy magazines because they like to read the articles. And viewers only watch naked attraction because they like game shows on television. So, yeah, broadcasting standards is an oxymoron in New Zealand. Now, just one other program that people have been warning us about. It's a new one targeted at young people on TV2 at the moment around 4 p.m. And it's called The Feed. And it's supposed to feature awesome content creators, challenges and viral TikTok videos from across New Zealand, from overseas. But let the indoctrination begin, starting with children. Now, it's pretty painful to watch, but I've done it so you won't have to. And they are really upset that there's a group not wanting children to be sexualized. And apparently they're all shouting. Well, see if you can hear that in this video clip, the shouting. And then there's the sermon from the presenters. If you want to protect children, don't you dare express concern about the myth of changing sex. Don't you dare express concern about the confusion of gender dysphoria or the harms of castration or chemicalization of young people.
You know what? Her sign's upside down. Now they're all screaming at me from behind.
Peace and love.
I'm
you might
sweetie,
be protecting trans, but
excuse me, don't talk to me.
See, I know how that video makes me feel, but how do you feel, Mon, when you see that?
Ronnie, it just honestly makes me devastated. It feels so strange that people who are meant to be full of faith and love and seemingly promoting love and safety for others could hold so much fear and hate for their peers. Like, they're just trying to be themselves and love honestly. And if we were really protecting our children, we'd create a loving space where people could find themselves in this already weird world that we're living in, that's already full of so much judgment and hate. And for people to care so much about how other people choose to live their life is genuinely baffling to me.
Absolutely, and I couldn't have said it any better. I'm a person of faith myself, and I do believe I was brought up in Sunday school saying thou shalt not judge. So I do not know why people tend to judge.
Yeah, I guess that's just got me in a bit of a funk right now, and I can really only think of one way to bring me out of it.
How would we do that?
To have a big old queer show! Yeah, that's right!
Wow, that's right. And here to open the show today, partner, is please welcome Aotearoa's finest, Little Miss Cinnamon!
Yes, nothing speaks better to normality than watching a man dressed as a woman, a drag queen, and let's promote it as a great career choice for children. How to start the drag journey. Yep, that's what they talk about in this show for kids. Ironically, the key message is be yourself. Be your authentic self.
Yummy! And I've got one more question before you go, Little Miss Cinnamon. If you had a piece of advice to give to rangatahi who want to start this drag journey, what would you say?
Give it a go, but don't do it by yourself. Bring some friends along, have some fun, just play around and be your authentic self. And just...
Yeah, be your authentic self. It's pretty painful to watch, eh? But it's a program for children at 4 p.m. on mainstream TV. It's all about sexuality and gender ideology, pride, gay marriage, and banning conversion therapy, because that's all children are thinking about, eh?
Aotearoa, be proud of yourself, because we were the first and are the first country to have an openly transgender politician, and now 10% of our parliament members are part of the Takatapui community, which is the most in the world.
Dang, we legalised same-sex marriage and same-sex adoption in 2013, and the New Zealand military has made huge pushes for integration of LGBTQIA members to be a part of the armed forces.
That's right, and Tamaki Makaurau has also been rated as one of the top gay-friendly cities in the world with their incredible pride festivals, and thanks to beautiful humans like Chanel Lowell, who founded the Conversion Therapy Action Group, Aotearoa officially banned conversion therapy in this country just last year.
Yep, just can't get enough.
Welcome back. I should probably close my legs to the feed team. We're having a beautiful show today. We're having a queer old show. Yeah, I'm excited. We're talking all about our Takatapui community.
That's right. Right now we're shouting out to our favourite queer content creators.
Yep, it's painful, eh? And if you watched our recent episode on Dylan Mulvaney, who thinks he's a woman, well, I guess who the favourite is of the feed.
One of our favourites, of course, is the beautiful Dylan Mulvaney.
Oh, amazing.
It's day 360 of being a woman, and it's my first International Women's Day.
Dylan does Denmark. I'm here with Ulla Henriksen to do the famous Scandinavian cold plunge. I'm going into the water. Ready?
Two best friends in a room. They might kiss. Yes, we will. What? Yes, we will.
Dylan Mulvaney, if you need some sunshine in your life, follow Dylan. She's amazing. She's gone huge on TikTok for detailing her gender transition as well. It's a really beautiful process to watch. She's so gorgeous, very talented actress as well, and music theatre performer. Let's go, Dylan.
Yep. If you want some sunshine in your life, this is a message for young children watching this. There's nothing better than a gender transition. What's the beautiful process that your children can learn from Dylan? Oh, it's hormone replacement theory, facial feminization surgery, including hairline advancement, a brow bone shave, a rhinoplasty, a cheek enhancement, a lip lift, a jaw shave, a chin reduction, and a tracheal shave. Your kids will love it. Probably what's most galling about all of this is that your taxpayer dollars are paying for that trash. Now, all these programs we've just talked about, this type of programming is all part of the pornification, the sexualizing and gender ideology indoctrination of our culture, led by most mainstream broadcasters and even businesses targeting even your children. It's a simple reminder that you never want New Zealand mainstream TV channels to babysit your children. Not if you don't want their minds polluted or confused.